Hello there, fellow church musicians. So, I see we excel at the playing part, but also when it comes to the business side, I'm going to help you understand and walk you through it. As a musician, the business side is very, very important. Now, I do put a disclaimer out. This might not work for everybody, and everybody might not agree, but that's okay. Please pay your tithes. It is very important. So if you get paid $700 on Sunday, you owe God $70. Please pay that. It will keep you blessed. Next, for y'all that file taxes, take 15% out of your check every week. Save it. So when it comes time to do taxes, you can go to TurboTax, do what you got to do, or you can file it on your own on that 1099. And last but not least, it's 10% for your equipment. That way, in case you have a rainy day or you're down to your last pair of sticks or your in-ears run out, you can go get another pair of what you need because you already saved up 10% every week. Overall, that's only 35% of your check every week, and it is worth it. You are still left with 65% of your check. Like, comment, share, and follow for more content.
All right, so really dope take. Appreciate conversations like this where we're talking about the actual process of musicians getting paid and what they should do and how they should run it. Um, yeah, if you're a musician and you're especially if you're getting 1099, you're a contractor for a church. And I've been a part of multiple ministries, multiple churches. That's how they kind of operate. They operate on a contractor basis. They pay us as contractors. They 1099 us, and that keeps them from having to do payroll taxes, supply us with health insurance, a lot of stuff like that. So if you're a contractor with a church and they are 1099ing you, then yes, some of the things that he is absolutely talking about is what you should be doing. Now, I'd say on the tithe part of it, I've been very vocal in other public forums about paying tithes. I don't think that that is an actual commandment in the scripture. I don't have time to unpack that in this video. You can go do a lot of more research on your own as whether or not we should still be tithing in this time. But I will say this: I am pro giving. You should be giving into the church, or you should be giving something. Um, I have a philosophy is that I don't. Back in the day, I didn't give into the same place that I serve at because it's like I'm paying myself. I'm putting money back into a thing, a system that is actually paying me. So am I really getting the benefit of giving money back to myself? That's just how I process things and think. Find an organization, find something that you believe in. Even if it's your church, then it's hey, I don't have a check for it. I'm just it's just my perspective. But find a church, find something that you can give into, that you can sow into, that you believe in. I don't ascribe to the 10% rule of things. I think it's a great foundation, a place to start, a number that you can work with of how much. But I predicate this because I am an advocate of this, and I know people are going to hate me in the comments for saying this. But if you can't afford to pay 10%, don't pay 10%. You know what I mean? You're not obligated under threat of curse, under threat of everything falling apart, under threat of going to hell because you did not give 10% to your local church. Now, don't hear me wrong and say that I'm saying don't give. That's not what I'm saying. Saying that you should be as he's talking about, be a good financial steward. So you need to be putting back money for taxes, because if you're getting 1099 and you don't have another job and this is your only income and you're getting all 1099 income, then you're going to be on the hook for that at the end of the day with the IRS. So you want to make sure that you're putting back some money for taxes, or you're spending money during the year on products, on things that's going to help you, on instruments, and keeping note of all of those things so that you can be prepared to offset those taxes. You know what I mean? Because you're doing write-offs, because Uncle Sam does not care. You're either going to spend your money on your business or you're going to give it to them. That's the way it is. People talk about all these keyboards and all this stuff that I bought, the tax write-offs. I enjoy the instruments. I buy the instruments because I want them. I spend the money because I feel like there's a need for it in the business. But at the end of the day, it's a tax write-off, because I know if I'm either gonna like give this money to Uncle Sam or I'm gonna spend it on my business. All right. So that's kind of my take on the whole tithing thing. Just make sure that you're not under burden, because the Bible and the scriptures come clear that you're not supposed to do that under compulsion. Under that, you do it because you want to do it. And if giving 10% is not compulsive to you, if it's not something that's egregious, if it's not putting you in the hole, then don't do it. I'm not advocating against not giving. Don't hear that. I'm advocating that don't give if it's going to put you in a burden, in a place, and you don't have to feel obligated to give. I have not tithed in the sense of tithing in probably more than a decade. You know what I mean? And I have been success. There's no curse on my life. There is no none of those things, those adverse effects because I didn't tithe. All right. And if anything, I've done better in my life since I stopped tithing. But that doesn't mean that I stopped giving because I still give. I just don't tithe. You know what I mean? So you got to kind of keep that in thing. Now, keeping aside money for your equipment and all those things, I say all of these things are predicated on one thing, which you need to do as a musician, as a creative. You need to learn how to budget your money, budget your time. And the biggest thing, this is the biggest number one thing, a part of everything. You must live on less than what you make. It's all a mute point. 10% tithes, 10% for equipment, 15% for taxes, 35% of your income or whatever set aside. That's all irrelevant if you make $700 a week and you spend $850. It's all irrelevant. So you must live below your means. That means selling cars that that you can't afford or getting out from under a loan or something like that. That means cutting back on cell phone bills, on all of those things. I'm gonna do a whole like how you should budget as a musician thing. And I'm gonna actually pull up my budget from like 20 when I was really like digging into this so I can show you guys how I was able to really do music full time and support my family. I have 6 kids, so it's 8 of us. So I'm going to show you guys how I was actually able to do that. And I'll talk about that on a video where I really got some time to unpack that. But I think this is good relative information that he's given. The only check that I would have is on the tithing thing as a requirement. If it's something that you feel like you're compelled to do and you're doing it from a cheerful standpoint, I have no checks for you. God rewards giving. I am a witness of that, but you're not obligated to tithe under some mandate from the biblical law. All right. That's my take on it. I think this is a good video. I think these are some good principles that he's laid out. And I think everything he's saying are true. The only critique I have is on the tithing thing. All right. That's all I got to say about it. If you've been rocking with my content and you want to go beyond what YouTube allows, what social media allows, that's exactly why I created my Patreon. Over there, I break down the real side of music tech, business, how this industry actually works, the creative side. I'm talking exclusive podcasts with your favorite creators. And there's 3 ways that you can join. There's a support tier that starts at just $5 a month. That's for people who just want to support my work and get early access to the content that I create. The Creator Plus tier goes deeper into the tools, the workflows, the plugins, everything that I use to create and scale out my content. And then there's the Business Plus tier. This is where we talk strategy, monetization, ownership, all of the things that I do to make money, how I scaled a 7-figure company, how you can do it too, asking questions, all of the crazy things that you want to know about how to build a sustainable, real career in music. So if you're really ready to take this to the next level and grow your creative business this year, then please join me over there at Patreon. The link is down below. I'll talk to you guys over there. Let's get it.